Welcome back, ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls of the Formula One community. Welcome to another episode of our Formula One 2019 driver reviews. Today is one of two reviews which, hey, Williams didn't have the best of season. Without, digging too much into Williams, which I've done plenty this year, and I'm sure Williams fans are sick of the amount of Williams jokes I have sent their way in 2019. But all jokes aside today, it's not been a brilliant season. It's been a season to forget, but for a man like Robert Kubica, it's not about the results. It's not about finishing, that incredible P19, that incredible P10 he got in Germany. Whilst that's brilliant, the journey this man had, not only in his junior career and working his way to Formula One, but ever since his accident in 2011, his comeback has been insane. That test he did with Renault, the tests he did with Williams were brilliant, but to come back and to endure a full season of Formula One has been incredible. And for me, that alone has made Robert Kubica's season well worth the comeback and very special in my eyes. There's not a lot to talk about with the Williams boys, sadly, so I'm going to start pretty early on today with the statistics. The head-to-head battle with teammate George Russell looks a little bit like this, and it's not all doom and gloom. 21-0 in Russell's favour in qualifying, 17-3 in the race battle. The points battle and the championship position, however, do go to Robert's favour thanks to that 1 points finish in Germany. Russell didn't get any, so Kubica is ahead in the standings. Russell, the only driver to not score a point, actually, in 2019. Kubica's own personal statistics look a little bit like this. No wins, no poles. Well, technically 1 pole. Sorry. No podiums, 1 points position. 19th in the championship. His best qualifying result was 2 18th places, and that best race result, that single point, that incredible single point in Germany where he overtook George Russell fairly late on thanks to a George Russell slight mistake during the wet conditions, and Kubica, with his vast experience, scoring the team that single point. Of course, he was helped out by other drivers failing to finish, but the fact that both Williams drivers actually were able to get to the finish line during those tricky conditions was testament to their ability, and I think showed that, on their day, they could have done a better job if they were given the tools, I think's fair enough to say. But Williams, to be fair to them, their reliability was very, very good in 2019. I would perhaps say the best on the grid, bar Mercedes, and that's definitely a big positive for them going forward. Obviously, Robert is leaving the team, and this is most likely his last ever season in Formula One, so part of me's a little bit disappointed that they didn't make more of an effort, I think, in the final weekend for Robert Kubica, considering this is a man who has won Grand Prix before, or a Grand Prix, who's been on the podium multiple times, has a pole position in Formula One, and he will be missed. But there's no denying 2019 wasn't his best season in Formula One, bless him. 21-0 to George Russell in qualifying is not only a mighty statistic, but also the qualifying gap between the two of them, more often than not, was over 1 second, which in modern Formula One isn't quite good enough. Again, Robert's comeback is the main thing, which is why I'm really happy he has come back. And considering when I was growing up with Formula One, Robert was my favourite driver. I love to see him there, but the actual results, they've not been there. And whilst Russell, on occasion in 2019, was fighting with the Haas cars, was even fighting with the likes of Raikkonen, I believe it was, in Monza, and in Japan as well, Kubica, I definitely believe, has had a better second half than his first half. Definitely went under the radar in the first half of the year, but I've said in a few of my race reviews, actually, it was, I believe it was Monza, actually, and also the very last race of the season in Abu Dhabi. What I love about Robert this year is when he's had an opportunity to fight, he really has given it everything, and you don't always see that with a lot of drivers. But this man, his defence, it's Singapore, that was it, Singapore, he was in my top 3 for driver of the day because we know what an awful car it was. George Russell, his teammate, retired from that Grand Prix, but Kubica gave it everything in his defence, and through that final sector, going side by side with racing points with Renaults that are far better than him, Toro Rossos, he really made them work for it, and that is what I love. They know, both drivers, what an awful car. But both of them have really tried their best to make things work, and I think that's what I will miss. You know, we don't always see, I don't want to name any names on the grid, but some drivers are, you know, fairly let drivers go by pretty straightforward when perhaps there's nothing on the line, but these guys gave it everything in 2019, and you can't ask for more than that. He won't be on the grid next year. He's a character which I think a lot of casual fans probably wouldn't have really been aware of in 2019, which is a shame, but I think overall, his career, his legacy hasn't been damaged too much from his 2019 season, and I just kind of hope that people remember this man for his early Formula 1 achievements rather than the lacklustre, I think is a good way of putting it, 2019 season. Sadly for Robert, I'm going to give him a 4 out of 10, which hurts me to do, but I think it's the right thing to do. But I'd love to know your thoughts in the comments below. What is your rating out of 10 for Robert Kubica? Don't worry, if you still need some more F1 content, you can go back through the previous driver reviews on the channel. And of course, every single day in the build up to Christmas, there'll be a brand new Formula 1 video on the channel. Thank you very much for watching. I hope to see you in the next one.